It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. What blew my mind, so there's like two things going on here. One is I was thinking about the app, and I was going to ask you if you still got the app, and I'm going to come back to that.
Yep.
But when we got into Christmas lights 4 years ago through you guys, how fast a price goes up on a big ass tree.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't comprehend until we did a big pine tree that was like 30 feet tall for $500. And I was like, $500 seemed like so much money. And then I was like, oh my God, we lost our asses. That should have been a $1,500 tree easily. Like we had $500 in lights on that son of a gun. And we didn't even have that tight of a wrap going. I mean, it was just like what are we doing out here? And then taking it down took like 3 guys, it seemed like we didn't have a lift or anything. We were damn near climbing that tree.
That's called learning the hard way there.
Yeah. It was an investment in training. Like, even though you weren't like, you had told us all of those things, we had to make the mistake ourselves. And it was for my wife's aunt. So I felt like I was doing her a favor. And I was like, I like you, just not that much. Man, the trying to get the pricing right on that stuff and like doing the math of how that all adds up, like blew my mind. And I'm a freaking math guy. Like I love math, but it was like, holy shit. Like this gets real, really quick. And then the other thing that blows my mind is Mrs. Jones is like, okay, sounds good. And you're like, lady, I just told you I was going to charge you $3,000 to put lights on your house. And you like didn't blink an eye. So I want to see what you got in the, like, what are you driving? What's in your garage? Like like, how are you doing this? It just always still blows my mind how much people are willing to pay to get us to professionally install lights on their house. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's one of the conversations we have in our training is we talk about that and say, don't judge a book by a cover. You know, people may have, and Ryan Fox has a great story about a house he went up to and he's like, oh God, these guys have no budget, whatever. They ended up spending like $3,500. And, you can't, know what their situation is. And maybe they save all their money throughout the year because they love, the experience of Christmas and they love decorating and stuff like that. So that's where they put their money towards. Maybe their parents passed away around Christmas time, so they're like, hey, we want to light it up. We want to do this. So don't judge a book by its cover. You're right. You're just like, what? Shit, I should have went for 4,000. Damn it. You kind of kick yourself. Like, should I gone higher?
What else can I hang a damn light on in here? Like, I mean, you want to go full Griswold? We'll light this baby up.
Yeah. Going back to your trees. I mean, that's and I tell people that's the number one spot you can lose your ass. Mm-hmm. And any installer that's been doing this for a long time can attest to it, where if you don't bid a tree right properly, you can really screw yourself and be short. A story of a guy out in Texas, he did the same thing. He tried to bid a tree from a picture and he thought it was going to be 90 strands. It turned out to be like 190 strands because you can't gauge the circumference of the tree. You can't see what it is, and you put a person by, you're like, holy crap, that is a huge tree.
Yeah.
That's where people
that big. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's where you lose the money. And that's where we came up with the estimating app.
Are you still running the estimating app? Are you still rolling with that?
Yeah. So the estimating app, we just, it was all the formulas. We always taught the formulas. And I don't know if you ever got one of the books, back in the days, there was a big thick book we just hand people.
No, I went right for the app. I didn't want to do the book.
Yeah. So we took all those formulas, and there's guys like Ryan Fox, that have been doing this for a long time, and Luke Jensen, they still use this. They don't sit there and jot it down because they're so good at what they do these days. They go out to a tree and they've done, they've already done 1,000 of those trees. They understand. Oh, okay, that's this many trees. They're that good. But they started out using the formulas that we utilize.
Yep.
And with the app, we've got all the different sections in there, and it's always a work in progress, but you can go in there and calculate a tree, and it'll tell you how many strands you should use, and tells you what to charge the customer. So It's been kind of a game changer, for a lot of installers to make sure they're not losing their money. I mean, people go out and they bid jobs all season long where they're underbidding it, and then they look at the end of the end of the year and they're like, oh, geez, I have no money left. What happened? Geez, I got to go take all these lights down still, and I got to pay crews and things like that, and they lose money, and so they jump out of the game. So that's kind of what we do. Is we train people to be effective the first year, and either break even or make a little bit the first year, and maybe a profit the first year, depending on what they have to buy. It's different for everybody. Some guys have to go buy trucks. Some guys they buy ladders the first year. Some guys already have all the equipment. They don't have to worry about a pressure washer, power washers. They've already got the ladders.
Buying lights and paying labor.
Yeah, exactly. So that's your biggest thing is buying the lights the first year. And a recommended order we usually tell people is 15 to 17,000 if you want to do it right. Not everybody has that, and we teach them a way they can go into the season without having that money. Luke Jensen, for instance, he started out, he didn't have the money to buy lights, but that's okay. We teach them how they can still be profitable, do well without having, a huge budget for it.